Hello, welcome everybody. This is Kathy Helwig, and you have entered the Prosperity Mastermind. And so happy that you're here. Um, you know what we're going to do, and it's going to be a new practice for us, is to read our Prosperity Mastermind Team Freedom Day template. And, and I just need some volunteers. I need 4 volunteers. And I'm going to share my screen so that it's up here somewhere. And let me make it bigger. There we go.
I'll volunteer 1.
Okay. Who else?
I'll do 1.
Okay.
I'll do 1.
Great. Just 1 more then. Marcia, you want to do 1?
Sure.
Okay, great. Now remember, the important thing about when we read this is to read it with emotion, like feeling, and we're going to throw something else in there. And can you all see me? Can you all see me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to lead us in the tapping as the volunteer is reading it. So if you want to tap while you're listening, but really get into it and get into the feeling, and let's get the most out of this. Okay.
Does the person reading also tap?
If you can read and tap at the same time.
It's like the tummy and the head.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see. I'll have Alex do the 90-day vision. I'll have Marcia do the customer. I'll have Amy do the business partner, and Lynn do the Freedom Day.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So shake it out. Get into your happy place. Take a deep breath and just put yourself in a really good, positive place right now. Okay. All right. Alex, you may begin.
Our 90-day vision. We are so happy and grateful now that we are experiencing a level of freedom that allows us to create incomes that enhance our families' lives, that enrich the lives of others. We are receiving 50% or more per week increases in cycles in our Isogenics organizations with ease and grace. Exponential growth is a natural byproduct because we are filled with joy, hope, and inspiration. Our futures call to us every morning, and we practice our daily transformational devotions with joy. We are empowered messengers of God's generous gifts. Our abundance overflows and touches those we have yet to meet. We impact communities and bring true freedom to those who are ready. And this ripple effect is a function of our divine connections. Our team culture is the art of well-being, and we naturally support each other in its full self-expression. We are truly blessed, and so are our friends and family.
Awesome. Thank you. Oops. Okay. Marcia?
We are so happy and grateful now that our customers are excited, energized, living a vibrant life, and are examples of the art of well-being. As Isogenics ambassadors, we are naturally enrolling their friends and family in healthy lifestyle that they fully commit to. Everyone loves getting their products paid for. Integrity, superb quality, and impeccable service make us a valuable asset to the success of our customers' goals. They commit to an ISA pantry for life and see Isogenics as an essential. There is hope, joy, and happiness abounding.
Awesome. Okay. Amy.
We are so excited and grateful that our team creates ongoing magnificent wins and massive momentum in our Isogenics businesses. Our team commitment is family, community, and contribution attracts compassionate, driven third and fourth level leaders. They finally know they are home. This is their true calling. With a love for network marketing, they are enthusiastic, passionate, motivated, and focused on financial freedom for everyone. We celebrate and honor our collaborative successes with joy. Our financial momentum expands through a global community, and leaders are born everywhere.
Awesome. All right. And the last one, Lynn.
We are so happy and grateful now that our Freedom Day teams are generating legacy centers with yearly multiple six-figure incomes with Isogenics. This prosperity allows our family, friends, and communities to have abundant access to time, money, freedom, and creative resources. This brings us all great joy, peace, and creative fulfillment. We live each and every day present and practicing our compelling visions of our futures, supporting each other because we want to. Balance, ease, and grace are our family's motto. We have created compassionate identities that powerfully fulfill on the dreams that mean the most to us. Our prosperity is an expression of creative energy that brings heaven to earth for everyone. To living lives we love, the Prosperity Mastermind team.
Awesome. How's everybody feel?
Good.
You know, I noticed that this tapping helps a lot of things.
Mm.
I feel it helps me wake up, become very alert, and just happy.
That's awesome. How often do you do it, Marcia?
Well, I've noticed that I probably don't do it every day, but maybe a few times a week.
Mhm. Awesome. And are you doing it just with the limiting beliefs, or are you doing it with your affirmations as well?
Both.
Good. Yeah, it really makes a difference, doesn't it? And you know, you can also, when you're, you may be agitated about something, you know, maybe frustrated, maybe a negative emotion's going on with you. All you have to do is just tap and talk about it, and you know, express yourself about it, and it'll take the energy down. You know, it'll diffuse it. So it's just a great tool. Yeah. So we're going to do a little exercise tonight. Ariana, would you like to take it away? And by the way, I've got several announcements, and we'll do those at the end of the call.
Well, I'd be honored. And I have to say, I've been very influenced. I just happened to go to the Isogenics holiday catalog, and I saw the video again. It wasn't in the catalog, but it was in one of the Instagrams that I was going around, and I saw that video that they had released in at Celebration this year. And the woman's voice was so soothing. And it just made me want to kind of like relax, pull down the energy, you know. I don't always have to be like shouting, which is tends to be my go-to default. And I realized how gentle it was. And you know what? The tapping actually supports it, because I think what I do is I think I'm not being heard. Like I have a conversation that I'm not heard. And so that's why I speak as loud as I do. And coming from a background of being a Broadway actress, that was like, you had to do that in order to be heard, to the person that was all the way back in the, 50th row. But I'm recognizing, I think there's more power in being more kind of like contained, but still with the intensity and the passion. So what I wanted to talk with everybody today, and this is an interactive conversation that we're all going to partake in. What we'd like to do is each week we're going to take one of the little paragraphs, and we're going to start looking at what does that paragraph really mean to you. And I love what Dave does in his Monday morning mastermind calls. He takes like 4 lines of a book, and then he just goes into the lines for about an hour, right? Talking about what it means to him, what he has understood. So I want to open this up to all of us, because I know that the words have different meanings, slightly different experiences to each one of us. And I think what would be really powerful is to hear, where are we? Because this is a team conversation, so we want to be all on board with the large conversation, like what do we say about these words? So why don't we look all at that very first line of the 90-day vision that Alex shared with us. And it starts with some beautiful ideas that Amy has always been attracted to. She's attracted to emotions, right? And so on my page, I actually highlighted, the happy and grateful that's bolded. I put them in another color, just so that when I look at my piece, I can be present to the emotional state, because Dave talks a lot about the feeling comes first and then the action follows, right? So you feel a certain way and that makes you take an action. So let's look at that first line. And it's like so it's all of us, right? We get to participate together with all of us. We are so happy and grateful. So I'm going to just stop there. And it's like, why don't some of you share, what does the word happy mean? What does the word grateful mean to you, right? How does that show up in your life? Like, how does that look when you're in a state of happiness and you feel grateful? And anybody, just say what you want to say about that.
Say something about it, because having had some issues with my back, I was not happy and grateful. And that's not what I was present to. So it's perfect to focus on it. Yeah, when I'm grateful, it doesn't matter really what's going on around me. I can just be grateful for what's the good things. Grateful for my cup of coffee, grateful for life. So it just makes me feel good, like I can just feel my aura expanding. So that's what it does for me.
Yeah, and one thing I'd add to that is that there is a relationship between grateful and happy. Like, joy is the Lord's. He gives it to us, and we can have abundance in it. But there is actually work to be done instead of happy, because when you're in circumstances, sometimes you're not happy. But when you get grateful, there's actually a relationship to your happiness. When you become grateful, you become happy.
To me, happy is being kind of carefree, not a care in the world, and everything is going right, and you're, euphoric, and then I think grateful just kind of ties in, because I think, they say to write down 10 things you're grateful for every day. And I think when you do that, it just kind of changes your mental state. So to me, they're very closely tied together. But yeah, just being euphoric and just happy to be alive, which I kind of had that mental state that I'm always grateful and happy, even though the world is like a roller coaster right now, kind of looking at like the happy side of it. There's so much to be grateful for.
I think that's so important that you said that, because we have a lot of things we could be complaining about, right? But because of your practice, Lynn, of every day writing down 10 things that you're grateful for, I think that makes all the difference in the world for you, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And having the faith and faith and no fear.
Yeah.
It's all
Exactly.
going okay.
Yeah, a practice that Eddie and I do is go on a gratitude walk. So, and sometimes we don't even call it that or officially think of it that way, but it's just kind of automatic. We get outside, we look at the pretty creek by us, we watch the dog walk, we're just being grateful in that moment of everything that's going on. And I always come back in that state of, okay, all is well.
Yeah, I think it's I'm happy because I'm grateful for the blessings. So it's like, why am I happy? Oh, there's a lot of things to be grateful about. Like I received, blessings. So that's the happiness is kind of like an emotion that results from being grateful.
Yeah. I think Alex summed it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know for me, grateful is a really interesting state because that's something I have to generate. My own gratitude doesn't just happen naturally. I actually have a default that is somewhat the opposite of it, And so when I'm present to being grateful for something and I give myself permission, I'm always present too. I'm always in the now. I'm always here in the moment so that whatever I might be complaining about or something worried about, right, the future and the past, it suddenly disappears and dissolves because the grateful state that I step into is, wow, I'm now fully present again to what I have. And Eckhart Tolle talks about this too. He says, if you're present in every moment, then you have what you have in that moment. You don't have what you're afraid of from the past or what you're worried about from the future. You just have what you have right now. And that's all there really is to have. And I know for happy too, happy sometimes just washes over me. So it has this beautiful quality of just kind of coming in when I least expect it, like I'll be standing and listening to my husband saying something, right? And suddenly my heart just melts. And in that moment, I have this state of happiness that he's there, he's speaking. And it always is about, I think gratitude does live in the corners of happiness for me. But it's just like happy that I'm alive and in the moment. And those two emotions always make me present to now, which I love because right after we talk about those in this vision, now is the next word. And so would anybody else like to share about those two emotional states?
I was thinking of, things that make us happy. Like for me, music makes me happy.
Mhm.
Being around family makes me happy. So encompassing those happy and grateful moments of experiencing those things can add to that experience of that level of freedom that we all want.
Yeah, and it's perfect because when we're talking about that first sentence, the next part is an experiential one because it says we're experiencing something, right? So we're in the state of happy and grateful in now, and then we go to experiencing freedom. And boy, that's a big juicy one to talk about for our team. Like, what would it feel like to be experiencing freedom? I know for me, it looks like I want to get up in the morning and get out of bed and do things because there is this thing that's just calling. I don't feel burdened by things. I feel that sense of freedom to create the new thing in that day. Even if it looks the same, it's always new, right? Because it's happening there in that moment. At least for me, that's how it feels. And freedom, just like what type of freedom? Freedom with my health, freedom with our finances, freedom with being creative, freedom with being of service. So freedom for me that's like, I get to twirl around and I go, yippee! That's freedom for me.
A big freedom for me is freedom of time. And I mean, I just love the fact that I can drop everything if my granddaughters drop in and want to have a shake, which they did this morning. And then I get another call tonight during dinner, and my granddaughter says, "Grandma, are you making dinner?" And I said, "We're just about to sit down." And she says, "Well, we're hungry. Can we join you?" Sure. So, time freedom for my family, for the things I love to do, time freedom to be able to be of service to others. So, yeah.
Freedom to me is being able to do what I want, when I want, and wherever I want, and having the financial means to experience all the great things in life.
Anyone else?
Well, I'll just say I wasn't here when you guys created this document, but it's perfect. It's so easy to just step right in and be in alignment with it. Yeah, Eddie and I have been talking about traveling and doing isogenics and doing the things he does wherever we go. And this just kind of fits in line with all of that. What were you going to say, Amy?
Oh, yeah, the freedom is like being, excited to start the day because you are able to design your day, like who you want to talk with, where do you want to go. And I like, what Kathy's saying, that the time freedom, we think that we are, in scarcity, but actually, with isogenics and leveraging, we can create time freedom. So, yeah.
Well, and moving just a little bit further into this first sentence, it kind of lasers in, and I like that too, because then you go from the broad, big freedom in many areas, and you go into that freedom allowing us as a team, right, to create specific things. And here we're talking about the incomes, and the kind of incomes, though, not just incomes for the sake of incomes, the incomes that enhance our families' lives and enrich the lives of others. That's totally about the thing of service, Kathy, that you were mentioning. It's all about we are able to serve people because of the freedom that we are granted with the income that isogenics makes possible for any of us at any point. And being able to be of service to others, to our family. Lynn, you were talking all about that. You have a lot of joy when you're around your family. And it's like, Madeline, you were talking about like doing the traveling. So what would that look like, to be able to create an income that would take care of you, your family, and then make a difference to people around you that you're sharing this with.
Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next part.
So I love this specificity here because what would it look like to increase your weekly cycles by 50% currently where you are right now, within that 90 days? By the end of the 90th day, you have successfully created an increase, your personal increase, right? Everyone will have a different look in their increase. But what I love about it, first of all, it's done with isogenics and the organization of isogenics, because you probably could increase your income stream possibly by 50% in other ways. We're looking specifically here to focus in on using isogenics as the vehicle. But I love those next two emotional states, ease and grace. So why don't we just wax a little poetically on those two ideas? I love them both.
Well, there was a time in my isogenics career early on when it wasn't easy and it wasn't graceful because I saw the whole idea as hard. And I had to change my thinking around that in order to see it as ease and grace. And once I saw it as ease and grace, it became easy and graceful. So it's really just a mind shift.
I know for me, the ease and grace idea is critical for that feeling of it's a natural expression to me. So ease and grace really does start to look for me as something that's natural. It's just a natural part of my day. It's a natural way of being. My actions are natural. And grace is really great because it has so many layers of meaning that you could apply to it. You know, grace on yourself when you're having a hard day and you get to be gentle. It has like this state of gentleness, but it also has this state of goodwill and favor, right? Coming from a greater source of power. So using grace for me is what allows me to make the mistakes, right? And be easy, like not hard on myself. I don't have to be harsh. I come from a background where you didn't make mistakes, right? But then when did you take chances, right? If you're worried about making mistakes, you will not take chances. So I really love giving myself a lot of grace around taking chances, because then I'll take more risks. That's what I've discovered for myself.
I think that's a good point, Ariana, because we frequently are hard on ourselves. I'll say me. I can be hard on myself if things don't go right. And this is a business. This is not like punching a clock, right? There's pieces to it. And so just being graceful, like you said, have grace with ourselves to just be okay if things didn't go the way we want, and just keep going. Something that I've noticed about myself is I tend to like to complicate things. So, and by complicating it, sometimes it's not easy anymore. Like it shows up hard. So I like that we've got ease and grace in here, because I can kind of simplify what I need to do, simplify the steps, and just keep moving, and then keep having that grace.
Now, I just want to let everyone know I'm not compelled to finish, dissecting this. I think that if we live in this space and we talk about it, and it's great, each one of us making a slightly different contribution to the same idea. It really, I think what I've experienced with this, it actually swells the dimensionality of how I can participate. Because I don't always think about something that Kathy might share about ease and grace, or Madeline might, or what Amy might say about happy and grateful. I have my own focus, but it's great to hear other people share their interpretation and their experience of those ideas, because it definitely adds to the greater whole. So I'll go on to the next sentence. So exponential growth. I love that kind of stuff, because that's the stuff that's a little bit unpredictable. It's not linear. It's not going to be da, 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 da. It's going to be, right? It's like, it has an explosive potential to it. And it is natural byproduct. Ooh, I really like. I like byproducts, because you're not focused on them, but you get them anyway. And the byproduct is great because it's another emotional state that we're filled with. And Alex touched earlier on the idea of joy, joy, hope, and inspiration. And I know for me, hope is a sense of trust. And sometimes I lack a little bit of trust in myself, and in like what's going to happen in my life. And I think that trust is critical. I think trust is critical. It's a core beingness that when I connect back to it, that's what makes me happy and grateful.
Joy and hope are really a choice for me. I can choose into joy. I can choose into hope, or I can choose out of it into, despair or whatever. But what if exponential growth is a natural byproduct and we get to choose it, right? So, yeah.
I was looking at how everything is so tied together, when we're happy and grateful and build our business with ease and grace. we're going to have that exponential growth because we're filled with that joy and hope and inspiration. So it's great. It's all tied together.
Yep.
Step by step.
Mhm. We easily attract other people to our organization with ease and grace because we inspire them to join us, and they can see that there's hope to whatever they're looking for, and because we're joyful, it's attractive to people. Like, oh wow, I want to be part of that. I want to experience that too. And because it's like, yeah, we're attracting a lot of people to our community.
So I just want to acknowledge we're at the top of the hour with a few minutes over, and I'm happy to stay on the call if people have to, move to their next commitment. Feel free to. If you guys want to stay on, I'd love to just, riff a little bit further on the rest of the piece, or we could save it till next week.
Well, I can tell you, tonight I'm experiencing a level of freedom that not many people enjoy. And there's a massage therapist in my home who's ready to give me a massage.
Oh.
Right on, like 90-day vision. The next 90-minute vision is for you to get a massage.
So I'm going to
yeah,
use the massage, but I do want to give, talk about the announcements that I had because they're really important and they're big. So a real quick one, healthcare. If you are interested in the healthcare that Isagenix provides, then open enrollment is November 1st through the December 15th. I posted that on the business group. So if you want to take a look at the link, you can.
So the link is there to look at the healthcare program?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then November 5th and 6th, what is that? Thursday and Friday. Isagenix is doing a giveaway. So what you have to do is you have to follow at Isagenix on Instagram and find out what it's all about and what it takes. But all you have to do is enter to participate. And I don't know what the prizes are, but because they haven't told us. But if you pay attention on Instagram and check it out that way, participate. You might get a cool prize. The holiday guide is fabulous, you guys. They have taken it up several notches from the last holiday guide. It's got seasonal products, of course. And I'm telling you, I love the banana bread plant-based chicken. I got 7 packages of it. It's got tools, it's got recipes, and I did a recipe last night from that guide, and it was awesome. And it was a simple chicken and vegetables dish, and I've gone gluten-free and sugar-free, and it fit the my plan exactly. It was perfect, and I used whey thins as the breading. So it was really cool.
Let me just add, I cooked a chicken the other day, a whole chicken in my crock pot and sprinkled on the bone broth.
Nice.
The garlic seasoned bone broth. And it was so good. So good.
Yeah. So check out those recipes. There's tons of them. They're 400 to 600 calorie recipes. And man, they're awesome. And finally, guess what next week is? It's Grow Week. So Isagenix is doing a daily check-in. I believe it's going to be on Isagenix Live at 9 o'clock Pacific, Monday through Friday. And they'll do a replay at 5 o'clock Pacific if you missed that one. But it's just different trainers talking about what they can do what you can do to really maximize your Grow Week. And so we'll be planning like power hours and things like that for you as well. Okay, so that's all I have for announcements.
Sounds good. And don't forget, like the Isamune with zinc is now available, because I know it's been sold out for a few weeks now.
All right, so with the rest of this, I don't know, Ariana, what if we all just took a look at that and spent some time with that last half of the declaration and just see what, dig deep within yourself to understand what it says.
And let's talk about it next week, because if you think about it, this 90-day vision, 2 paragraphs, it's all about the 90 days. We drill in and down on biz partners and customers, but this is about what we're living in now during these 90 days. So I think we can spend some time just mulling around what is.
Ariana, I accidentally muted you.
That's okay.
I really didn't want to hear what you had to say.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes I wish I could do that to myself too. Yeah, so we'll continue to look at what this means and give it some thought. Practice it this week.
Yep. Well,
Tap
thank you
and
all for,
practice.
yeah, do the tapping practice, definitely. All right, everybody, you have a blessed week. And have a great
Enjoy.
night.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.